Good morning. So today we're going to speak about a topic that is a little bit more serious. And the serious topic is the Holocaust. And I'm going to make a whole series right now of a few videos. But let me just begin by let's just talk about the Holocaust, the word Holocaust. Um, so as part of an introduction, that's important to mention, is that my grandmother, which this is going to be a story about her, she is not a Jew from what I know. She's not Jewish in any way, once again, from what I know and what she claims. We did have people on some sides of our families who were Jews who had to convert during like certain times. However, my grandma, not a Jew. Nobody, like I said, a Jew. My mom's father is a Jew. My father is Jewish. And I was baptized when I was baptized when I was a baby. Anyways, I'm gonna get into all of that later on. But okay, so let's talk about the Holocaust. I'm gonna begin by saying when I was in school, I learned that Hitler and his army would go to people's homes and they would knock on doors and be like, are you hiding Jews there? Blah, blah, blah. Like, and then they would force themselves in and check if you're hiding anybody there. In school, we also learned that they went and killed people or sent them to concentration camps or whatever it was, based on names and documents, if that makes sense. And there was photos and there was a bunch of that's just like what the media and the schools taught you, right? They taught you that they had specific lists, they would knock on doors, they kind of like, if you could have been not a Jew and you were safe, and you would only get harmed if you were hiding a Jew or something, like you're trying to go against the Nazis or stuff like that. Well, that's not what happened according to what my grandma lived through. And mind you, my grandmother is not a Jew. On my father's side, I'm gonna just put it like that. My father's side kind of has the media story. For example, I'm just gonna quickly tell y'all. Like they tried to come to America on my father's side for to be refugee, and I don't know, America I guess turned them down, and the ships or however they went, just they sent them right back in, and then the Nazis greeted them and they like died in the gas chambers. That's my father's side. But my grandma, who's not a Jew, let's talk about this. So according to her story, and she's been like, this is not some, she's way older now, but according to her story, that's not what happened at all, actually. I mean, I believe, you want to know something? I'm not shocked that it didn't happen the way the media told you. I mean, am I shocked? I'm not shocked. Are y'all shocked? Probably. There's some people who are always shocked, but, let me tell you. So my grandma, not a Jew. Her mom, not a Jew. From what I heard, no one is a Jew in like her circle. No one is a convert Jew, Christian. Okay. One day, the Nazis are knocking on her parents' door. And they came in there with guns. And they said to my grandma's mother, give me your children. She had other brothers and sisters. I don't know the story as to why. They only took her. I sometimes try to ask her and she doesn't, I don't know, I guess that part she doesn't remember. But this is a story, like I said, she's been she had my mom when she was in her early 30s. So this is a story that my mother knew. This is not something that she just started talking about now. She always, the family knew, that she was a Holocaust survivor, a non-Jewish Holocaust survivor, a non-Jewish Holocaust survivor. Okay, non-Jewish. All right, I'm gonna keep it non-Jewish Holocaust survivor. And I don't want to say the details of the story for purposes. Like there's a, I'm not gonna say the details of the story. But when the Nazis took my grandma, she survived. I'm gonna put it like this: she survived by a miracle, and but she ended up like, she ended up after all of that. I'm gonna put it like this: I don't know if you dirty, diaper clinic shit eating cannibals, and I'm talking to the Nazis, right? I don't know if you took my non-Jewish. Once again, and the reason why I keep saying the non-Jewish, because you want to know something, it's very funny to me. Like, and no, I'm gonna say that part later on, but it's just just in case you're like, oh, I don't feel bad, I hate all the Jews. My grandma was not a Jew, anyways. My grandma, once again, not a Jew. I'm gonna even write it out. My grandma was not a Jew, and neither are gonna be the people that I'm about to talk about. Okay, so my non-Jewish grandma, after the Nazi attack that she was taken, I don't know if they, because see, the thing is, the Nazis, it's already been spoken about too, but it's just not taught, and they're gonna like kind of, they're gonna tell you a little bit, but they're not gonna really tell you everything. So basically, it did have to do with aliens, army, weapon, technology, teleportation, blah blah blah. It's so I'm not wouldn't be surprised if they experimented on my grandma and did some like forgetful rays, and she thinks it happened one way, but like I said, she survived by a miracle. But after that day, she from her whole life needed around like 13 or more surgeries. Like she was like, she had a period issue. Like once she started getting her period, she would like bleed out for days. She would have to spend all of her hospital days in the period, and it's a miracle that she even had my mom. I think she stopped. I think she stopped her. I actually, you know what? I'm sorry, I didn't do my research on this thing, on this small little thing. I don't remember when my grandma said she had a surgery to stop it. But I'm pretty sure it was after she had my mom. She was like, okay, you know what? I had a child. That's it. That's a miracle anyways. That's it. And then she had other surgeries like on her neck, on her stomach. Like she had a lot of surgeries. And so I don't know what you diaper clinic, shit eating cannibals did to my non-Jewish grandma. And the reason, like I said, a lot of the, like, two reasons why I say non-Jewish, because just in case you're like, oh well, you're a Jew, and like I don't really care, but like my grandma wasn't a Jew. But it's also to teach people, it's like, yeah, Holocaust did not just affect Jewish people. But, and I like, please, and anybody who's gonna try me, don't try me, because my grandma's not a Jew, and no, she was not a convert, and no, like I said, on her side that she wasn't blood related to, according to her, did have some converts. She was not a convert, from what like we are all sure about. Anyways, after she got back home, by literally, I feel like the miracle was just like, I don't know. It's like not. Sometimes it doesn't even make sense, like how she survived. And like I said, I know that you dirty diaper clinic, Satanists, y'all probably experimented on her and did some rays to make her forget. But whatever. Whatever you did to her, it's not gonna work for you anyways. You could, whatever. But after that, she lived for 10 years hiding from bombs, villages burned down. There was other people. I'm gonna explain it like this. Imagine, I'm sorry, I have to, there's this part that is bothering me. Okay, imagine this, right? There is a gang that says that they are not federal, but they are just like, they want to continue what Hitler was doing. They were claiming they're not federal, but they were a gang, and they were burning everybody's, Jewish and non-Jewish. Nobody, like, this is what I'm saying. Like, when I think about how I was taught in school that they were like knocking and asking, are you Jewish? Or they were knocking on the door after they went through some documents. Well, knocking on the door after going through some documents. They just took all the kids. You could have been a German you could have been a German Christian or Orthodox Catholic yourself. They would have taken you. No, like, what are you talking about? Like, from the story that my grandma like was known in my family, you could have been a Jew, you could have been a religious Jew, you could have been a Marilyn Monroe looking regular like person Jew, which is kind of how like we are, and I'm gonna explain that later on in a different video. I mean, what I mean is, like, you could tell, like, I'm not a religious Jew, basically, on my page. You could tell, like, I, like, show lingerie, whatever. But that's not the point. The point is, it's like, it's very funny how the diaper clinic, like, went with that for so long. Like, oh, yeah. They went through the documents, and they specifically got all the Jews. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. No, they got every children. They took all the children, burned all the villages when the people kept rebuilding the homes because we were very intellectual, like where we speak Russian. We're like Russian Jews, and in our, I don't know how they say like, oh, white people don't build anything. Where I'm from, we were builders.com. We were like great builders. So the men kept rebuilding the homes, and the satanic cult, whoever that satanic cult was. That like diaper clinic, it was, like I said, it was like a gang, right? And they were claiming to just be a regular gang, but they were not a regular gang. They were federal, because a lot of, like, all the gangs are federal. Some people are not federal in gangs, and it's like, if you're in a gang and you're not a federal, I don't know what to tell you, but you're actually in a satanic cult, no matter what gang you're in. I just want to put it that way, and I want to have a segment on that way later on. But yeah, it was a satanic federal gang claiming to just be a regular citizen gang, and they kept burning villages down, and my grandma lived through hiding from bombs, starvation, all of that. And it was in the Russian vicinity, and there's like and when I say Russian vicinity, in like the Slavic vicinity, kind of like, there's a lot of countries where the people, even they might look Asian or Arab, and they even like, they speak like a different language, but they also speak Russian. So when I say Russian vicinity, I mean, like, you could look like not Russian, you could even speak another language, but you definitely have a huge, humongous, like 75% even of Russian influential culture. Like, you could speak whatever language you are, you could be the most proudest of your culture, you could be proud of like everyone in your culture, but your country will have 75% at least of Russian influence. So that's what I mean by Russian vicinity. So my grandma, she was Russian born. She was born in Russia, but yeah, that's what happened. And you know, the thing is, here's another thing about the Holocaust, because I already told y'all, I don't know well, I understand that the satanic cult, they lied about everything, right? Because like I said, it's funny, like, now I taught y'all who watched this video that yeah, I don't know, it wasn't just Jews they took all the kids, burned all the villages down. Nobody went through documents and I need to get this specific Jew. Like, nobody did that. They took all the citizens. And here's another thing. I want to just have a little clear understanding. I'm going to talk about this later on. I'm going to make another video. Just a tiny thing in this video about this. A citizen and a federal are two different things. If you are angry at federal Jews, go ahead. Go over there. And I can't wait till you hear I can't wait till one day people really know how I feel about the Israel-Palestine conflict. You will not. It's very funny. It's not funny. It's sick, actually. It's sick. The whole thing was sick. But, you know, the type of Jew, and this is not like, oh, like, don't hate me. Who cares about anybody hating anybody? But just in general, like, the Jews in power that you might want to dislike are not the same thing as a citizen. Especially, you want to know something, a lot of Russian Jews, we like I said, you were gonna see my page, I don't dress religious. I'm not I'm not like, I am religious in my own personal way, but I'm not like religious in like following what they do. When you see my page, once again, you'll see I wear lingerie you know, on my page. But like a citizen and a federal are two different things. And it's like, I'm a Jew like Jesus. You know what I mean? And really understand, like, I want people to one day like think like, what do you mean you're a Jew like Jesus? We'll figure it out. Y'all read the Bible, right? You know, I'm gonna make another video about that later on too. But yeah, like here's a little biblical riddle. Why do you think I said I'm a Jew like Jesus? Why do you think? And who was Jesus battling the entire time? And please, 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 don't tell me that, oh, Monica, you're wearing lingerie on your Instagram. You cannot be talking about God or anything religious. Well, God doesn't hate female sexuality. He created it. That's number one. Number two, what am I wearing now? Am I wearing lingerie, or am I wearing a dress that in a lot of and the dress is long, by the way. I'm gonna show this video right here. But yeah, like this dress I can wear to a lot of religious places. I wouldn't be able to wear it to all religious places, but to many, it would be very respectful to wear this dress. Extremely. So, and here's another thing, right? Think about a Victoria's Secret model. They're in lingerie on the stage, but if they go outside, they're gonna wear like jeans, a jacket. They might wear like a normal like dress. You know what I mean? Nobody's walking out in lingerie. So that's the kind of middle ground that the Lord likes, you know. And in case you're like, what do you mean you talk to God? Well, God talks to all of his children, at least in some ways, some more than others, for messages. And the other message from the Lord is this, is that if the Lord talks to somebody more than somebody else, he doesn't like that other person more. He just needs that person to give a message. But anyways, that's going to be the end of the video. And I'm going to make a Holocaust video part 2.